Okay, so the first thing I want to do is, of course, retract the landing gears. Okay, and then I will remove the gun pod. So now we get to the leg part. What I do is I twist the leg just a little bit, and that will help me loosen the leg from the peg, like this. So here we have this so far, and then when I get to this part, I just hold on to this section like so. Switch hands. Pull out the leg. Okay, and now I'm gonna go work on the arm area. So with this piece that everyone's talking about, I simply just tilt this part forward like so. I don't know if you can see, the light's a little weird here. Okay, basically I move this piece out and I push it in. Same thing with this side. Pull it out and then push it in. And then you can adjust it once it's inside. Okay. And now I will unpeg the arm, which I pull up, twist that way. Oh, I'm sorry, this way, sorry. Same thing on the other side. Okay. And swip the wing backwards. Okay. At times like this, whenever you do a movement with a wing, just do a quick check. Mine doesn't budge at all, but do a quick check so it doesn't pop out. And move out the shoulder piece. Move the arm out of the way. Okay. And at this time I just go back to make sure these pieces are moved in. The black pieces. And this is one of my favorite tools. I use it for modeling. I use it to cut parts off the spruce, and it comes with a filing piece, and I use that as my tool to help me just kind of do many of the harder to reach areas, and just find it very useful. Okay, so twist the arm up. Twist the arm up, and I have the hand covers on, so let me take off the hand covers, or I can use my trusty tool. There you go. Okay, And the first thing I want to do is I want to pop up this lock here and press the arm in until I hear it click. And then I can pull out the fingers by moving the fingers down. And after it's pulled all the way out, just lock this back in and twist the hand. Same thing on the other side. I want to undo the lock first. Pop the arm in until I hear it click. Okay? And just pull out one of the fingers and then pull the rest of the hands out, lock it back in, and swip the wings back. Okay, sorry, I stopped the video by accident. But yeah, as you can see, there's, that's pretty much Gerwalk without any wings popping out. The pins are still holding in place. Like I said, I don't know what's going on with everyone's pins, and it's not like I'm saying that it doesn't happen, because I see it happen. But so far, it doesn't really happen to me. Let me adjust the camera so you can see the whole thing. Okay, so we got it this far. So the next thing we want to do is get it to Battroid mode. And the first thing that I do is, again, I sweep the wings back. Again, anytime you get to this point, just give it a quick check. Never a problem here. Next thing I do, I unlatch this piece by pulling it out. Okay? And as I unlatch it, it unlocks the intakes. And if not, just give it a little push from up here. Or you can do the shimmy thing. Okay, the shimmy method is not working this time. It's okay. There you go. Just by moving the plate down, that will unlatch the intake area for you. And I open the landing bay, landing gear doors, twist the nose back. It fits into the cavity right here, like so. So we got that. Okay? And the next thing that I do is I push back this piece until it locks in. You hear the click, it locks in. And then I bring up the chest assembly and you flip this piece in, and at this point I pull out the swing bar and twist the leg forward, which is still very tight. But I noticed that if you just turn the leg a little bit, it will find a spot where it's not so tight, and it will turn just fine. If you just turn the ball joint a little bit, you'll find a place where it's not as tight, and then it will turn pretty smoothly. Okay, so we got that part done. And now we have to work on the head. Again, the head, like everyone says, a bit tricky, but I have a method that I deal with it that I find pretty easy. So you unlatch the chest like so, and when you can see the neck, just twist it around while it's still up, you know, like this. So I'm going to twist the head and the neck around. It takes a bit of working because just the area is so tight. Okay, I twisted the neck into place, and now I turned the head into place, and pull the head out a little bit, so, you know, like the other guys have done. But the difference is that the whole time I'm doing this, I'm keeping this plate on top rather than the bottom, and that helps me lock down the neck a little bit, so it's not flopping all over the place. So this piece that everyone works with, they have it underneath, but I have it on top. So that's just my way of doing it. I don't know if that's the correct way, but that's my way of doing it. And if you will notice that by doing that, you pretty much lock the torso into place, but it still slides a little bit, like so. And there is a definite connection between the fuselage and this back plate. And if you press them against each other, let me fix the, there you go. If you press them together, there's a click. It actually locks in. It doesn't go anywhere. So make sure you hear, you listen for that click. And the plate up here, like everyone said, the first transformation will be really hard, but as you work at it, it'll get easier. So they collapse together. Okay, so we get to that point, and now I'm gonna lift up the cockpit, which this part is really hard for me. Seems quite easy for everyone else, but whenever I do it, I just pull up the whole cockpit instead of, you know, I pull up the shield, the canopy, sorry, rather than the whole cockpit. And I have problem with this one. There we go, finally. Okay, got it out. Okay, got this part pushed down. Locking the body again. I had to unlock the body because I noticed that the landing bay was over on one of the pieces. So I'm going to relock the body. Okay. After it's done, push in the swing bar. And now we flip the back piece so that this part connects into this part. And now on top, make sure the white part goes into the back plate. Oh, and I forgot to swing the arm up and then in to reduce the joint. So I'm going to do that right now. Let's see. Yeah, I think I got it. And with my trusty tool, I can pull out the intake, I mean the exhaust, whatever it's called. Alright, the other side. Okay, and again I'm gonna lift up the arm and then push that joint up. Okay, and the gun pod. Okay, and the stock in the front, the handle in the front. And sometimes I put the gun underneath here, and that would allow a easier gun pod holding pose. And I also twist these back more because in the animation they're back more. So so there it is, you know. Pretty much how I have it. Again, I noticed my method that's different. I'm gonna lift up the phone again, so hopefully it won't turn it off by accident. Okay, so my difference is here. I keep the plate up. I don't know if that's the official way to do it, but it seems to keep the neck, you know, more in place for me. Okay, so another thing I'm gonna address while I have it in battery mode is that people have problem with the shimmy leg here going on, and one other thing you can do is by pushing the swing bar in. You can reduce it, but still swings forward. So one thing that I noticed that you can do is if you unlock the body, and when you unlock the body, you push the swing bar all the way in, and then you flare out the landing bay gear doors a little bit, and as you push back into the locking position, make sure that the landing bay gear is in between the swing bar. Let me see if I can focus in here. In between the swing bar and the thigh. So if you do that, and lock it in, and replace the backpack and, you know, do all that stuff, you'll notice that there's a lot less swinging. There's a lot less movement. And another thing that I noticed is that the movement is not so much coming from the swing bar, but actually this joint here is doing a lot of shifting, whereas this one is a lot less. Again, I don't know how this will affect with the landing bay doors. So unless it really bothers you, I would say, you know, just do it the normal way. But if it really bugs you to the point where you're like, this toy is, you know, defective, you can always lock it in this way. It does make the door flare out a lot more than the other method, but you know, at least you have that option.